Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
They're eating her. And then they're going to eat me. Oh my God!
Estrogen levels peaking. It's like she's in heat.
When are you gonna grow up, man? Chicks love cars. If you want to get into their pants, you better have a nice, hot Ferrari.
She's my hot Ferrari. Besides, I love my Mustang, which is a plug-in hybrid. It gets 100 mpg.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah! Out of my eyes!
Welcome to episode 28 of Schlock Talk, filleting the mutant eye stalks of garbage cinema. Since 2013, I'm Gabe.
Joel. I'm pantsless.
Alan.
I'm sitting on Paul's lap.
So tonight's movie is Tokyo Gore Police from 2008. It's directed by Yoshihiro Nishimura.
My hero.
And it's available on DVD from Tokyo Shock. This was streaming on Netflix, but not anymore, so we actually had to watch the DVD. This was an Alan pick. I just want to say that out of the gate.
Yeah.
And thank you, Alan.
Yeah, Alan. It wasn't a Gabe pick, so we gotta give it.
What is it, Alan? What was it that allured you the first time we watched this years ago? You just like read an excerpt. And it's like something like penis as a projectile weapon. I was like, yep, gotta watch it.
Just says win right
Rocket penis.
All right, I'll get to the official intro here. Tokyo Gore Police is the second Japanese movie we've done on Schlock Talk after episode 1/2's Entrails of a Beautiful Woman. And I have just one question for the entire nation of Japan. What the fuck is up with your kids' movies? Where American
This
flicks...
was Miyazaki, right?
Nausicaa in the Valley of the Giant Projectile Penises.
Where American flicks aimed at the kindergarten set usually feature characters who are conflicted about doing what is in their hearts versus what they're expected to do by their society and or parents, and frequently causes them to break into song. Your children's films seem to be more about the joys of sexual arousal spurred on by missing limbs, subway frottage, and accidentally enjoying one's own rape.
Wait, wasn't this a movie about a girl who was trying to live up to her father's expectations?
Oh my god, it was.
Yeah, no, seriously, it's Gabe, it's a Disney movie at its core. Okay. Now,
You got the princess with the dead family and.
Well, okay, so imagine like, the Disney values are this like nice little kidney stone, right? But instead of like, I don't know, coming out nice and soft and sweet and all the parents are excited about it, it's incredibly tormenting, scratchy, ripping through the fucking walls of your urethra, fucking balls crazy painful. But it's still the same kidney stone.
Is it bad that I just got an erection?
Hope you don't have any kidney stones.
Sure, those American
For me
movies...
sitting on your lap, no.
Those American movies also appeal to way too many 20-something-year-olds who still live at home and have a robust trans-positive Tumblr pages. But last I checked, that's literally describing every single person in your small, formerly atomically bombed island nation. Despite this, though, kiddie movies like Frozen and the teriyaki-soaked turd that is Tokyo Gore Police do have one thing in common. They both suck balls. All the balls.
Hey, Gabe.
Yeah.
Let it go.
Oh.
And at least Japanese movies like this are upfront with their terribleness. Disney likes to pretend that they are a family-friendly movie fare with only occasional naked chick inserted into a single frame of The Rescuers, or dildo castle spire on the cover of every Little Mermaid VHS sold, all 17 quadrillion of them, while their Jap counterparts have no problem advertising that their potty-training toddler movies are happy to imply that some possible ano-tentacle insertion, along with their anthropomorphic poo coils, or even fanciful images of living chairs made of human skin that piss all over everyone. No, if there's any justice in this world, latter-day Disney output will be overshadowed by the antics of its former child stars, like Selena Gomez fappening-related picture dumps, and the revelation that Miley Cyrus is on a one-woman mission to spread her secretly most prized intellectual property, her patented strain of herpes to every human on the planet, living or dead, and continuing to be the reason that there is no crack left for anyone else to smoke. So anyway, yeah, I didn't even make any real connections between this and a Disney movie, but it totally has the story arc of a Disney movie.
Yeah, I mean, right when you were saying it right at the beginning, I'm like, wait a minute, this is this movie. Society has, like, decided that there's going to be police overtaking everything, and she wants to be like her father, and her father is killed, and...
It's pretty much Bambi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Bambi
It's
with
Bambi.
shotgun penises.
So I guess this would have to
Better
be
than
like
Bambi.
sort of Tangled then? Is that our parallel or Disney parallel where she was basically kept hostage of the person who sort of spiritually or emotionally kidnapped her by murdering her father,
God,
taking
there
her
are
out?
so many connections.
And instead of
And
having long hair, she had
she's
elongated eyeballs.
Exactly. Elongated eye slants
She
or
didn't
whatever.
have
Eye slits.
Did you say eye slants about a Japanese woman?
And then he replaced it with slits. I'm not sure if that's better.
grows up basically in this sort of ivory isolated tower in a complete false understanding of the world, which is the chief of police, and then later on, you know, through some weird ass, she meets this roguish guy who happens to shoot fucking dick diamonds out of his eyeballs, and shows her that the person who's been her guardian her whole life is actually her biggest nemesis. Ooh, there we go. We
Spoiler.
found a
Holy
parallel.
Spoiler.
Jesus. We just did like...
Joel, I gotta ask you, why are you so racist? Guess the Oriental.
So Tokyo Gore Police opens up with a young girl talking with her police officer father, and then his head explodes, and our hero, Ruka, wakes up in a police car.
Was she talking to him? I thought he was just, he's like saluting.
Yeah. I
And then
think
his
you're
head,
right.
it doesn't, it's not like a bullet goes through his head. His head is split open like someone had clubbed it for an hour with a baseball bat, just instantaneously explodes.
It kind of opens up like the egg from Alien.
It was very,
kinda does.
It was very
Yeah, and
Ricky
just
O-ish
blood is
caliber
everywhere.
of special effects.
Oh
as
my
far as
god,
the
the
blood
blood
is.
in this movie. I felt like I should be wearing a raincoat watching this thing.
There's not
I felt
enough.
like I was in the front row at a Gallagher performance.
There's not enough corn syrup and food coloring in the universe to fucking make this movie. I don't know how they pulled it off. They must have used real blood.
So there's a standoff between the police and a criminal, Koji Tanaka, who is holed up in a high-rise and he's eating pieces of a dead body. And an old-timey radio hall girl who will kind of serve as the movie's Greek chorus, hailing back to a lot of Disney movies, by the way, tells the special squad to go get him, although if you watch the movie with the subtitles on, she says, "Divine punishment!" I don't know, did you guys watch it with the subtitles on?
Yeah, it was
Oh, yeah.
subtitled.
Was it also,
No, it wasn't. It was only subbed.
Oh, it was
We
only
didn't have
subbed.
the dub version. No,
Yeah, the
it was
DVD
subbed.
I had the dubbing.
That's
It didn't
why
even
you-
have a
that's why you
Japanese
didn't like it.
language
You
option.
can't watch it dubbed. That's
Yeah.
just crap.
So the police squad ascend the tower. Yeah, it would be terrible to watch this movie.
It is,
in
man. You gotta
anything
listen to
other
them in their natural, squeaky little mouth.
See, you
squeaks.
didn't
No wonder you didn't. No wonder you didn't
Oh,
like it.
Yeah, that's the reason I didn't like it.
Daijoubu!
Shit like that was hilarious, man.
Daijoubu!
And he's saying that as he like peels his forehead back.
Yes. So the police squad ascends to the tower, and the criminal has a spastic chainsaw fit in anticipation of his fight with the cops.
He just stands there waving around like he's on crackers. He's like,
Yeah.
"Ah!"
And the police bust in and shoot him about 5,000 times, which severs his arm, but does not seem to actually harm him in any way.
We were underestimating how many times they shot him. 5,000 is not nearly enough times for that. They were like, what was it? It was like 45 seconds of pure like 6 dudes unloading automatic weapons on this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like amputation by fucking bullet.
With unlimited ammo in their weapons,
Yes.
by the way.
And in addition to this, his arm sprouts back with a chainsaw attached. And
But
then
it's
he-
not really an arm at this point. It's like some
well,
David Cronenberg
Yeah,
penis fetish.
it's some like evolved bioweapon that happens to be chainsawish in nature.
If you've seen enough anime, you know exactly what it looks like. It's like a muscle mass with a chainsaw.
There you go.
He then proceeds to chop off one of the cops' heads, and the other officers shout that he's an engineer. And this gets Ruka's attention back in the car, and she uses her rocket launcher to fly to the top of the tower and confront this guy.
This is where we thought that it became a Team Fortress 2 game all of a sudden. You have your engineers and your soldiers doing rocket jumps. And
Yep.
It's just fucking weird at this point.
And so she grabs the chainsaw that was on the ground and chops Tanaka into a fine dice before splitting him lengthwise with her katana. And the title card says Tokyo Gore Police.
We should mention what these officers look like as well.
Oh, they look
because these guys are fucking in like old timey retrofitted samurai armor.
But their helmets,
like beer
kinda
cozies on them.
Yeah, it's like a cross between Darth Vader and the Coors Light cap with the straws that go in your mouth.
Some weird ass eye monocle or some shit like that. It's got some gnarly looking shoulder pads. It's basically a robe, like a fucking long shredded robe.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they're
flashers
really
too.
buff samurais.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that's useful when you're in a firefight to have heavy constricting armor on that doesn't deflect bullets. Yeah,
that's all the armor. It's all that, and it's nothing but a fucking robe.
So then during the post-credits exposition scene, we are told that the police in Tokyo are now privatized, and during a commercial for the Tokyo Police Corporation,
total RoboCop-ish style.
Well, even the plot's
commercial.
RoboCop-ish.
Yeah.
We're told that they don't tolerate criminals, and they're shown executing a serial killer. If you look real closely, it says serial killer, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, serial killer, give his name.
people. Yeah.
There's like these smiling guys talking about how the police have been privatized and how they're taking care of business. And they have a serial killer on the ground that 5 of them just execute with machine guns. And
that was awesome.
Yeah, it's a shame
RoboCop.
that law enforcement isn't really that way these days.
But the
Oh wait, they are just in the black community. Oh, sorry, too soon.
the ads were great though.
Yeah.
My favorite was the one with the schoolgirls cutting themselves with the cute animal knives.
Oh yeah.
It's like the most
It
disturbing.
was like a
scene in the
pink
movie
dolphin.
Yeah.
for me. Seriously. It's like
Kawaii
little Japanese
Cute
girls
cutters.
smiling and talking about what the best way to cut yourself is with designer blades.
Mine
Oh, and
looks
I
like a
think-
giraffe.
I think I missed it, but she was cutting her arm in the police car, right?
Yeah, she was. She
was.
was sitting there slashing it like a mother.
Her rather
No,
scarred
she
arm.
wasn't just doing it like, seriously, put on the loudest fucking rock music and go to fucking town.
Oh yeah, she was just whipping that blade across too. She was
Like, it could have, like, instead of the music they were playing, they should have played, what is it, during Shaun of the Dead when they were all just beating the shit out of the zombie that was tied up to the chair. It was like Supersonic Man Out of You by Queen or whatever. Just like,
like
looking like she's
Fahrenheit or
cutting into
something,
Miss
yeah.
Piggy's fucking velvety fucking Muppet arm, and just fucking blood is just coming out everywhere. She's going over cuts she already cutted before.
Miss Piggy's fucking velvety fucking Muppet arm. That should be the name of our podcast.
Or our band,
Yeah.
which I'm starting right
or
now.
Joel's sex toy.
So Ruka brings the body of the criminal back to the police headquarters, and she gives it to this mad scientist guy with an eye patch. And I wish I could give a better name for him, but he's actually not listed on IMDb what the character's name is.
I don't know.
It
Pizza
doesn't
cutter
matter.
fist Ahab.
The Dobby Gollum-ish.
Yeah.
He's got
And
an
he
eye patch, and he's got like it looks like a nasty pizza cutter on one arm that he's going around chopping shit up with.
And a blue faux hawk.
Yeah.
And he performs an autopsy, and he verifies that the criminal wasn't an engineer. And Ruka, in voiceover, explains that engineers are a new race of super criminals whose wounds turn into deadly weapons during battle.
Now I like the key thing, the
Yeah.
key-shaped tumor,
Yeah.
and then when they touch it to your skin, it forms a keyhole.
Right.
You stick it in and twist it, and like your
It opens whatever the
Yeah.
shit the keyhole is at.
Like
You
splits
have,
you
just
open.
become ridiculous.
And she also explains that there is always a key-shaped tumor in each of the engineers, and this has to be severed from the body to kill them. And this was a huge relief to me because I was worried that she was going to go around chopping people up for no reason.
Disappointment number 4.
That doesn't happen.
Ruka goes to a bar, and the bartender sees that she has self-inflicted wounds on her wrist. And while she's there, Ruka has a flashback to a time when some boys tried to take her to the hospital. I didn't understand this.
Well, she was sitting there slashing her arm like crazy, or she had been. She had a bandage around her arm, and these guys who they didn't strike me so much as helpful as like wannabe injury rapists. I'm not sure how that quite works.
take you to the hospital was.
But this is where Alan's
sarcastic.
No, it's Japanese slang.
This is where Alan's like comes in, where the guy goes Daijobu, and just, like in the most weird fucking way imaginable, and it's just creepy as hell, and they deserve to die, and that's all it comes down to.
So Ruka gets called back to the police station, and the female bartender looks at a plastic bracelet longingly. And this will be called back to several times during the movie, but I don't understand it.
There's like some sort of psychic link.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like quantum entanglement because the bartender has an exact fucking same fucking bracelet or whatever, and now like they can fucking feel each other's pains, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Alan claimed last night that they were urethra beads.
I bet you their periods synced after.
Whoa!
that.
So not only is it a bracelet, but it's also a transformer.
Jesus Christ, that's awesome. That's actually a thing, by the way. It's called sounding. When you stick shit up your dick hole.
Yeah,
it's
Alan
the
was
most
saying there's
horrifying
like
thing in the world.
carbon fiber and glass rods you can shoot up or shoot up there.
That sounds really pleasant.
So when Ruka arrives at police headquarters,
do you have a toothpick I can borrow?
It's too big.
Splinters fall.
She can tell by the flashing red lights on the building that there's something wrong at police headquarters, and so she's confronted by a giant shogun and his quadruple amputee dog girl. But it's really the police chief and the rest of the police force there to give her a surprise birthday party and a medal and commendation.
Wasn't that
For
just
killing
a
her
jarring
50th
scene, though?
engineer, yeah.
He's got like this dark room and there's this big hulking figure and some crawling thing, and you hear this like slightly Darth Vader raspy stuff going on, and then it lights up and there's this weird fucking guy with a birthday cake and a gimp.
But he never takes his uniform off
gimp.
during the entire movie.
No.
She would know who that was.
We've
We
decided
wouldn't.
that we all want to go see 50 Shades on opening night.
Yes. I'm going to
And
dress up in my gimp suit with a ball gag, nipple clamps, all that stuff.
He's got to fold his arms back, though. We got to get that amputee gimp thing going on there, because that's impressive shit right
I just
there.
make everyone uncomfortable in that line.
I was going to show up in nipple clamps and a whip.
So Ruka remembers in voiceover again that when her father was killed in the line of duty, the police chief raised her as his own daughter. And then she also remembers in flashback that her mom had cut her own wrists as well. Although they never say she
On her
died.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, was it on her birthday?
Yeah.
She's
She
sitting
goes
there, her
crazy,
dad brings in a
starts cutting
birthday
her-
cake.
Yeah.
And then the mom turns around with a knife with blood on it. What's wrong with me? What's wrong with me?
Meanwhile, the girl's
the
like
dad's
staring
screaming
over
at
her lit birthday cake candles.
Yeah.
Thinking, God damn it, Mom, why do you have to steal the spotlight once again?
And it's funny because she also has this look in her face like, that was the best birthday ever. I've never had a more metal birthday in my
My
life.
mom gave me she gave me a suicide attempt.
And some daikon radish.
There was a lot of radish in that house.
was a lot of radish.
Radish, French fries. I'm thinking that maybe an unvaried diet had drove her to insanity.
So all this is going on in a nearby hotel. A young girl dressed in a school uniform, no doubt a first in Japanese cinema, meets with a man who has one of the key-shaped tumors in a glass jar. And the madam of the hooker then gets stalked, kind of like Giallo style, by a man with black gloves and a knife who follows her into a
Didn't we
subway.
have
You're
the
forgetting the
glistening
scene
fat
where
guy
she
and-
busted in on like fucking Buddha's, fucking retarded, really boyish, lubed up leather.
Oh yeah, he's really
Yeah,
sweaty.
he's
Did that
like
hurt
really
you?
sweaty,
I don't know if
bald, and
he's sweaty
short.
as so much as he's oiled up very, very
It's
much.
like
Oh, this is
imagine
the
it-
guy that he went like 30 seconds over.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's charging him extra, and the
We
school
gave
girl
you, like,
starts
a
getting
10-minute
dressed,
we have,
and
like,
she,
a-
like,
She's
walks
like, I
out.
texted you 10 minutes ago to tell you time was running out.
Whoa, my vibrator was going at the same time. I was getting my vibrator as well.
And so, so then the madam goes down into the subway and she's followed by this masked killer. And he confronts the woman and uses giant needles to suck out all of her blood.
Like
And I mean,
augers.
giant
Yeah,
needles.
like
They're like
shunts or whatever.
like
He's just
pipes.
stabbing them in her.
Yeah, and then he drains all the blood into these little jars that he's got there, and
Neatly
makes her
arranges
into a
them.
chick in the box.
It then completely cleans the whole area because that area would be covered in blood from
Yeah.
how messy that fucker is.
I'm seeing the copious amounts of freaking high pressure blood being poured on set. He did a really good job, thorough job cleaning it.
Every time anyone gets a wound, it could be like a paper cut, and it's coming out like a sprinkler.
It's true, man.
Also, there's an anti-suicide commercial and another appearance from the Greek chorus girl at this point in the movie.
What was the,
Well, the anti-suicide was the little schoolgirls cutting themselves. Like, don't commit suicide or suicide's bad. Cut yourself. So they're just cutting.
How about the one where the guy starts like deep throating the sword?
Yeah, cuts his tongue.
I did not understand what that meant, but it was funny.
There's the other one where there's like seppuku.
It's really
Seppuku
sharp.
is bad.
that's
Seppuku,
It's
it's
really
suicide.
sharp.
That's the right. It's like it was seppuku is bad, and when all the end it goes Harry Carey is suicide too. It was like the ending line of it. The guy like disemboweled himself because something went bad at work, but there was another version of him that was trying to stop him, and
He was covered with blue dots.
Yeah, blue dots for no particular reason. Like, no, don't do it. Your work is not worth it. And that was the anti-suicide commercial.
Probably has something to do with some sort of Oriental thing.
Yeah.
So back on patrol, Ruka gets a call and heads to the subway where she finds the madam's body. And the Greek chorus girl tells us there was not a drop of blood found at the scene. But I'm just starting to doubt she's a reliable narrator because there's gore all over.
Not a drop of blood, but 12 baby bottles full.
Yeah, because like baby bottles full, and the hooker is like I don't know what he did with like her bones, but she's like deboned, and all her fucking meat is stuffed into a box.
Yeah, she's a madam in a box.
So Ruka decides that she's going to dress as a prostitute and hang around on the subway, and she sees a Japanese punk guy on the train eating some bugs. And then another guy gropes her butt.
Not just fucking eating bugs, chewing them up in his mouth and like breathing them out of his fucking mouth as like a nice little yellow waterfall cascades over his bottom lip.
We should also
and
mention
sucks the juice back in.
Rukia had an actual foot of distance between one thigh to the other, which was really disconcerting. It's just
she was very skinny.
How
She's a skinny bitch.
It made me wonder how they were paying her because she obviously couldn't afford to eat.
I also wonder about it because the madam who was walking away just kind of looked like some dumb bitch, right? But she like totally hoed it up to like fit the role. Like maybe she would have done research or something and be like, maybe I should look like I'm not trying to fucking entrap a serial psycho pervert.
She's in like a geisha robe that only goes about halfway down, and then leather shorts,
hooker boots and shit.
She didn't look bad in them.
Yeah,
you know.
So she drags the butt groper off the train and takes him into an alleyway where she chops off his arms. And I think you should consider this as a direct warning to you, Craig.
Quit grabbing Gabe's ass.
She also has another flashback and remembers that her dad was executed in front of her when she was a kid at some sort of protest.
Was she getting her ass groped at the same time? Because how does an ass grope trigger that memory?
Is this where the ninja comes in? The ever so sly ninja that comes in from below the camera.
He just like stands up with a gun.
And points it at her dad's head.
Not doing a real good job ninja there.
Stands in the frame.
Ever, you know, and it just pulls the trigger. And apparently they have video of this whole thing later on. You find that out.
Yeah.
You can't see him when he's crouching.
Worst ninja ever. The only reason you can't see him is because your eyes are the camera, apparently.
So then she sees a man on the subway who might be that ninja, and she follows him but comes across another body with the blood drained.
Yeah, she falls asleep. She wakes up and the train is pretty much empty, and she goes to the next car over, and there's another person who's a person in a box kind of thing going on.
So Ruka gets off the train and she goes to a shanty town, Dignity Village, where she finds
poor in money but rich in culture.
The man on the train, and they fight. She with her katana and he with some sort of swastika knife. Before she cuts off his head from the mid nose up.
No, she doesn't cut off his head.
She doesn't cut it off.
She delivers like a fifth of an inch of a blade strike goes across this guy's head. And he finishes the job himself.
He peels off the rest of his head.
Just grabs his hair and just rips off the top half of his face, or his fucking entire head.
And the blood sprinkler...
so it's like his brain is exposed, his eyes are gone.
The blood sprinkler just starts going again. You see blood going everywhere. And he rips his skull off. And then he's a brain with two...
gun barrel eye stalks.
Yeah.
And so, he grows these eye stalk things, and then he shoots... I called them flesh bullets. I didn't know what the hell.
We were thinking it might have been eyeballs. I was a little upset and let down. It wasn't eyeballs.
I thought it was eyeballs at first too, but it wasn't. But he uses it and he pins her up against the wall, holding her robe up against. Anyway.
Well, she gets pinned to the wall because she's impaled by the fucking diamond whatever shit that he shoots out.
Yeah, shot him and he hit the pieces of her clothing.
Yeah, and so she's stuck to the wall like Robin Hood style or whatever. And then he walks up to her, and that's when he...
he pulls out one of those tumors out of his brain.
Key-shaped tumor.
And he unlocks a hole in her arm, and he tells her that she's one of them now, an engineer. Right?
Yep, that's what he does.
Yeah, I love that. When the key goes in and her arm just splits open.
Her arm just unfolds and opens up and everything. And he just sticks it right in.
I thought it opens up along the lines where her old wounds are. Mm-hmm. So it I don't even know how you would describe that, but it looks like bandages being cut open.
Yeah,
it's the coolest effect in the movie, I thought.
I agree. Yeah.
So Ruka wakes up at the police headquarters infirmary, and the chief tells her to meet him in the autopsy room. And he tells Ruka and the other cops it's time for them to kill all the engineers, but she seems not so sure about this. And then back at the bar, Ruka has fallen asleep, and the bartender puts the bracelet from earlier in the movie on her wrist. Again, this will come back later, although I am not sure why.
Quantum entanglement.
Period synchronization.
So Ruka is able to use the computer.
Wait, I wonder, when they have their periods in this movie, is it like the arterial? Is it like the arterial space?
It's just
Is it like a fire hose?
A guy and his girlfriend are just making out, and all of a sudden,
they have a shoe. They have
Like we'll get to later, maybe they can float.
They got rid of tampons. They just sell a lot of extra pillows.
splash guard.
A metric ton of cotton that they walk around between their legs at all times.
Well, she's got room for it.
Yeah.
Between those skinny little thighs.
So Ruka is able to use the computer to identify the engineer who attacked her, and she learns that it is Akino Miyama, who was supposed to have committed suicide when he was 24, and this guy looks like he's about 50.
I love how they do the synchronization on the computer. They've apparently got a program that matches the top of heads to the bottom of heads in their particular database.
Yeah, and
like,
meanwhile,
this is not
like
an uncommon occurrence that you have to ID someone by just having a third of their head.
and it projects the information in like an MTV edited cut style throughout the room on the walls.
It makes really annoying noises.
Really annoying beeping noises. I mean, it's like they fucking they sold the computer from Death Spa to this fucking chicken shit police operation.
Absolutely.
And a little more bells and whistles.
Also, we learned that the Tokyo Gore police have sprung for a bubble jet printer. A color bubble jet printer. So Ruka decides she's going to go check out the laboratory.
They don't need to buy red ink.
Yes. She's going to go check out the laboratory company that Aquino worked for, and the chief finds out what she is up to and goes apeshit because Aquino is the guy who killed Ruka's dad, and spoiler alert, the chief who walks around in a Shogun mask with foot-long devil horns and a quadruple amputee and a gas mask. Yeah, he's the bad guy.
I did not see that coming at all. What a loop they've thrown me for.
So she goes to the part of Tokyo where we are told there was a volcano, and she finds some records of a girl with the worst mastectomy in history.
Oh, yeah.
And she asks another one of the cops to print out all the addresses for the woman in the medical file. And after this scene, there's another satirical ad for the police where a Japanese hippie kills a kid before it says the force is looking for new recruits. Are those 2-week-old donuts?
No.
Oh, okay.
Yesterday.
Oh,
One
man.
night old.
Holy shit. I'm going to give you one of those.
No, you're not.
In there. You're gone.
God damn it.
No donut for you.
Good day, sir. I say good day.
That's offensive to a fictional race, Paul. I'm not even sure what that was.
Expect to get hate mail from members of said fictional race.
Yes.
I'm a fictional racist. What can I say?
And so she asked one of the other cops to print out all the addresses for the woman in the medical file.
And she has like 115 addresses for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's had a lot of boyfriends.
Apparently.
And so after we see the police ad for new recruits, this is followed up by a cop sitting in an abandoned building and saying he needs some speed, and he draws a syringe on his arm.
Why would you skip over how great a commercial that was for new recruits?
Yeah.
You got like these little kids playing soccer. These little kids playing soccer.
Yeah.
Suddenly some guy just like who's obviously flipped his lid.
Like he got
goes
picked
running
on by
at them.
kids who played soccer when he was a kid or some
He
shit.
runs at him with a pair of Uzis. And he's like, and then one of the guy's heads explode like Rukia's father's head does.
Yeah.
In this weird, odd alien egg way. And then suddenly he's getting shot up by 30 of these, like 5 cops with their machine guns. They die, and at the end, the cop is smiling in the background. You see the kids playing soccer with the guy's head.
Yes.
Yeah. I know, like
Recruiting now.
Recruiting.
Believe me, it's better to be part of the police than not part of the police.
Yes.
I gotta
This we
choose
will
that
soon
side.
learn. So at a latex fetish party later that night, a girl with a dick nose and an eyeball in her mouth, the mastectomy
God.
girl, and a snail woman with eye stalks all dance and ride
No.
around on the floor.
It
for
wasn't
the
like eye
attendees.
stalks. Like someone put
Her eyes.
test tubes on her eyes, on her eye sockets, and somehow sucked her eyeballs to the very tips of the test tubes.
Yes.
Yes, and the
pretty
snail
graphic.
shells on her nipples and her back.
Yes.
And Pinocchio girl, I don't think you do credit with the way that penis nose looked on her. That was
Well, it was
that
funny.
was disturbing.
And let's not forget Lazy Boy.
Oh, we will get there.
Yes.
And so while
Or
this
should
is,
I say Lazy Girl?
while this is going on, a waitress passes out cards with numbers on them, which correspond to numbers carved into these mutant girls. And then the latex waitress unveils what appears to be a living chair made of human skin with a flower for a vagina, which then female ejaculates all over the crowd.
I love how
to
it's
their
got,
delight.
And they go fucking nuts.
I love how it's like this flesh chair and it's got like an IV drip to keep
Right.
it alive.
It's got to hydrate.
This is not the best.
Where do you
life
think the pee comes from?
for.
You wonder if it has, like, consciousness, don't you?
You hope not.
I don't think it has a
What
brain.
kind of consciousness would that be?
Oh.
I am a pissing flesh chair.
think
Please kill me now.
It's what Brad Pitt found in the bed in that apartment in
Oh,
Seven.
it is. It totally is. So one of the guys who got a card goes backstage to meet up with number 69, who's that mastectomy girl. And she straps him to a chair and gives him a blowjob until he sees the key man. He's the guy with the swastika knife thing with the eyeball shooting. Yeah, he's
main
key man. He's listed
antagonist.
as key man in the credits. So he sees key man in a mirror, and she bites off his dick and spits it onto the ground. And this, of course, sprays blood everywhere.
I was a
And
little
this was
upset that
obviously a prosthetic because of its size.
I was upset because it wasn't flopping around like a trout freshly fished from the river.
It really
Oh,
should
that
have
would've
been.
been
Now that you
awesome.
think about, now that you mention it, Joel, you are absolutely right. That should have happened. Keyman then says he will begin his body modification surgery and promptly pulls out a power drill and mangles this guy
just
all over
drill
his
a
ankle.
hole.
Surgery
This
is a
guy
rough
is
word on
not
this
a
one.
doctor.
He's like trying to amputate the guy's leg with a drill.
He's like the worst dentist you could ever imagine.
He's like
being
drilling
given a drill.
sideways.
Yes. His technique leads me to believe he may not be a board-certified surgeon.
Or a contractor.
Yeah, he's not good for doctoring or carpentry.
So the dickless victim is able to get one hand free, and he blasts the girl in half with an Uzi he had hidden in his jacket.
Because Uzis can do that shit. They just tear a person straight in fucking half.
Hey, guns
man.
Ah,
are the shit in this universe.
He then crawls into the hallway to escape, but she follows him, and we see she has sprouted a crocodile mouth where her legs and ghibli bits used to be.
She was really hot before this, too.
No, it's cool because you're missing it. She like kind of pulls her body out, and you only see her top half with her like scarred up titties. And then she just pulls the rest of her shit out and like rotates it. And it's like, boah!
And then apparently she's like kind of waddling on the crocodile mouth to move.
Yeah.
It doesn't really show it, but you get that impression by the way her body just jostles from side to side in really awkward motions as she runs.
So then she proceeds to continue with the mangling that had started in the other room and bites off his arm. But then
Well,
he grabs the severed arm.
She does say, I know you like to be nibbled.
Oh,
and
yeah,
then
she does.
her crocodile mouth starts eating him.
That's the last thing you want to hear from a girl that just bit your dick off.
Yes.
And so he grabs the severed arm, which is still holding the Uzi, and he pulls the... This was my favorite part.
This
Even
was
more
great.
than the key
Yes.
with
Yeah,
her arm
yeah.
opening up, the tendon that he pulls, and it's
tendon or
attached to
nerve
his,
or whatever,
his
yeah.
trigger finger, and this kills the girl. And so then the key man comes in and he uses one of the key tumors and he opens up the guy's head.
His head just
That
fucking
splits- opens up.
unfolds in fucking half, which is another awesome effect.
And he turns him into an engineer as well.
Yeah, and this guy was apparently
Who's the
the
cop?
cop from the previous scene. He'd drawn a needle on himself. And
See, I
cut
was
himself
curious
with
because
it,
I was
and
wondering in this weird ass universe if that's a
what the
form
fuck
of a
was that
drug.
about,
Like
you know?
to get like the fucking shit in your veins, you really take a ballpoint pen and draw it. And
Wait
I
a
don't
minute.
know,
The
something
guy
works.
who got chewed up by the crocodile girl was the cop who drew the syringe on his arm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never made that connection.
That's because he was
Now,
already
now
on
I
the other
understand
side
why
of
you
the
didn't like
tracks.
the movie.
Yeah.
Without making that connection. The movie makes no sense now.
Oh,
You're right, Craig.
You're seeing it in a
It's
new
all
light
different now. 10 stars.
Fuck your 5-star rating. 10.
10
God, I
tentacles
apologize,
up.
Alan. I'm really sorry. So right after all of this, the cop and apparently the guy who got chewed up, who drew a syringe on his arm, shows up at the police headquarters with a katana bio arm and a shotgun dick and starts killing all of his
And
buddies.
his leg that was drilled off was also a
Dude,
massive
that wasn't a
thing.
shotgun dick.
No, it was like a fucking like
Elephant trunk.
Yeah, it was a fucking elephant
He
trunk.
could feed himself peanuts with that thing, scratch his back,
do fucking pull-ups with it.
It was 2/3 as long as his body was.
And so while this is going on, Ruka is going to all the addresses looking for the alligator snatch girl. And at the last address on the list, she meets up with the key man, who asks her to sit and talk with him. And he tells her that his father was a sniper with the police force, the best in the business, but he quit when he screwed up on one of his assignments because he saw the guy he was supposed to shoot was holding up
and this
the
was great because apparently he's been waiting for God knows how long in a room that he's been locked in with like 500 locks on the outside.
Yeah, like how the fuck does he like?
And he's got like, I guess he was bored because he had storyboards drawn
Yes,
up
he
for her.
did.
I don't get out much.
Oh, that scene where the scene with the sniper thing is awesome too. He's sitting there with his gun, watching some madman scream and scream and scream. He gets the order to take him down, and the guy like sees him, pulls up his baby, aims his handgun at a sniper who's God knows
Who can't
how far
fucking
away.
see, anyways.
Who's apparently on Mount Fuji.
Yeah, exactly.
Shoots him in the leg. Apparently needed to hire that guy.
Yeah,
as their
well,
new
wait a
sniper.
minute.
Maybe he got job replaced. That was the problem.
And so his son, we find out that his son, although he's a genius, he's not able to go to the good schools that he wants to because their family is too poor. And then the sniper's former boss, I'll give you a hint, it's the police chief, then comes to him with a new mission.
That's not a hint. You just told us the fucking answer.
He comes with him with a new mission to assassinate Ruka's father, who is heading up the protests against the police force being privatized.
And this is my favorite part. Ruka's memory suddenly flashes back to her father's assassination. At first, you just saw her father, and his head exploded. Then you saw her father and a ninja pointing a gun at her father, causing his head to
stand up.
explode. Now you see the father, the ninja pointing his gun at the father, and the police chief pointing his gun at the ninja.
And
How could I
the
forget
key
that?
man, when he was younger, standing behind her, also witnessing everything.
Her memory fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
How could I forget that critical detail?
So the key man goes on to explain
Those
that
storyboards really helped.
Yes, it did.
They did.
We should all start walking around with storyboards to explain everything that goes on a daily basis. So the key man, he goes on to say that he had injected himself with the DNA of several murderers.
Like
and then-
Charles Manson was one of the little jars of
Yes.
shit or whatever.
and then went on a rampage before killing himself by jumping off the roof of the lab. And then he found himself, okay, this is like the biggest non sequitur in the movie. He says he finds himself in front of a large door and meets a devil midget.
Yeah, that's right.
It's hilarious.
And I'm like, where the fuck is this going? As it turns out, absolutely nowhere.
Who looks a lot like Toby Jones.
Yeah, it was Toby
the
Jones.
cutest little devil midget you ever did see.
What do you want?
Who rolls the bottled key and piss at him. It starts this whole thing.
And so he enters this door with this devil midget, and then he wakes up in the hospital. And he tries to get Ruka.
And they give him the tumor. They're like, hey, we found this.
Yeah.
Here you go. Never seen anything like it before. We're giving it to you.
He tries to get Ruka to join the engineers, but she chops him in half lengthwise, which is the most underrated wise way to chop someone. While all this is going on, the police all across the city are rounding up random citizens and killing them in an ill-advised ploy to kill all the engineers. And there's a battle between an engineer girl with a utility knife arm and acid-spraying titties, and a female cop who apparently moonlights as a character from Soul Calibur 4.
Valdo.
It seemed like it was like flashbacks to the bar matron like fighting, but apparently if that was true, she got destroyed by acid, and I don't know what the fuck was going on.
Yeah,
right
it
there,
seemed
to be
like
honest
really
with you.
important. Like that female officer was like really important, and she has like that long spear
Yeah.
weapon.
I don't
and they're
remember
like,
seeing
what is
her
this?
earlier.
What's going to
Fucking
happen
awkward.
here? And then she just gets sprayed with titty acid and dies.
Yes. And we're all left wondering, what the fuck?
Also, around this time, the police chief gets a blowjob from his amputee dog girl. Oh, and that's her name in the movie. It's Dog Girl. Although on the
What
version
a
I
bitch.
watched with the dub, he keeps referring to it as him.
Ew.
Gives me the extra willies. Oh, I'm sorry. Not
What do you
that
got
there's
against
anything
the
wrong
gays?
with that. So the police break into the bar where Ruka hangs out, and they grab the bartender lady after she cuts off one of the cops' faces with a broken bottle, which was
that's
another
right.
one of my favorite scenes.
Doesn't cut
she,
off her
like-
face.
She just kind of
She
grinds
grinds
it
the
in.
bottle into the face.
Puts it into his face.
She takes a
pulls it
core
out,
sample.
and blows it out from the fucking
Yes.
drinking end.
That bottle has like a 1 foot circumference.
And
on it.
once
I'm not
again-
sure what fucking bottle she was using, but it takes up his whole face.
I was let down because I wanted like to see the eyes blink and maybe look around a little bit
That would've been
after they
cool.
fucking landed on the
Would have
floor.
been really cool.
You should have directed this, Joel.
Yes.
We would have had a
been
flopping
accessing
penis.
your genius. So then they tie the bartender lady up between their cars, and they're going to draw and quarter her. And just as they're pulling her apart, Ruka finds them, and she glares at them in the only bit of acting this actress will do in the entire movie.
Yeah, but we're forgetting the bead connection.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
The beads
The
tingle.
beads actually, glow.
The beads, I told you, quantum entanglement. She's like, bartender's in trouble. I need orange juice.
The urethra beads.
My period buddy is in danger.
We're cycling together.
While this is happening, a Japanese guy and another dude who's either a black stereotype I am unfamiliar with or Darth Vader with his mask off.
No, he's a pinhead. He was like black.
He was
Is
a
he the
pinhead.
What the fuck was what with that shit monster?
Oh, I'm sorry I didn't understand how literal it was.
They
Paul.
totally say they're Chinese. Did you not catch that?
No.
Yeah, no,
he
they
says-
said
they said don't underestimate the Chinese. So apparently that's your stereotype
Yeah.
right
Oh my
there.
God.
apparently
That was
Japan
not on
really
my
hates
version.
China.
Yeah.
It was not on my
They
version.
must have edited it out for cleanliness or
No,
something.
we had
in
like
your
fucking
version,
like
but-
brown skin Ziggy and this other little fucking chubby
So
Asian
weird.
guy.
It was so strange.
Yeah.
And he's wearing like a schoolboy, like elementary schoolboy's cap, right?
And they're
Like a
they're-
beanie.
They're totally like piling up body parts for some particular reason.
Yeah, and they do that, but then Ruka drives through and sends all the arms, legs, torsos, and obvious mannequins flying in all directions. If you look closely, you can actually see one of the torsos has like some writing on the bottom of it, like identifying which model number or something with like a
Well,
grease.
one of the
mark.
guys pointed out last night that we think we saw a box that said Slim Jims written on
Yeah, no, that's what it looked
in that
like.
pile
yeah.
of body parts.
That's awesome.
Snap into a gym.
Sorry, Slim Jin, as we call it.
So the Japanese guy, the non whatever racial stereotype guy.
Chinese, man. It's not
Chinese.
Japanese. Get your E's
No,
right.
but the other guy shoots out Ruka's eye, but it's replaced by a delicious-looking chocolate-covered cherry cordial.
Jawbreaker.
And in a
cyborg
development
face.
that no one saw coming, Ruka kills these guys.
No.
And then Ruka goes to the police station to confront the chief, but the eye patch medical examiner guy shows up and shoots her with his Tumblr-approved fist gun.
That was ridiculous.
Seriously, like
The worst.
the
No,
most
okay, I have to
fucking
admit, this is another one of my favorite gags in the movie. It's
the
gun
most
that shoots
retarded Nerf
fists.
toy you could ever make.
Seriously, super huge Gatling gun of fists. Real fists.
With part of the upper arm as well.
Oh, okay, well, whatever.
And apparently they're able to flip you off as
Yes.
they're flying
Yeah.
towards you.
well, you don't want them to do
Oh,
that because
God.
that's when you just hung
That
up
was
the
the best
string.
part.
Oh my
and
God.
it redirects them back at you, and you die.
And just as she's
I
about to
love
be...
the music that was going to it. It was like,
This fucking gun, right? So, like, he's shooting fucking things out, and one of them chokes her, grabs her on the throat, and somehow it's still able to make its own force and push her up against a foundation column while she's trying to fight one that was trying to flip her off and punch her at the same time, and she's still trying to push it back, even though it's clearly some
I was
magical
waiting for like some
force.
Three Stooges eye poking.
We haven't mentioned as of yet that at this point, one of Rukia's arms has turned into a fleshy
Seymour.
thing.
Yeah,
It's kind of similar to the alligator.
kind of
snap.
like an alligator, but less fleshy. More.
Sort of a weird T-Rexy head, and it's kind of sleeping. I guess hasn't really been awake.
And then it suddenly shoots up its
tendon?
tongue or
Its
something.
tongue, yeah.
And then
Yeah.
the fists with the finger extended that are shooting at her
To poke her eyes out.
somehow hit the tendon, swing around. Don't ask me the physics of this one.
What is that called? They always talk about it. They're going to travel through time in Star Trek, so they're going to do a thing where they like use gravity to pull themselves and snap themselves around. It's kind of like that.
Slingshot?
Slingshot, yeah.
Yeah, so apparently these fists hit it. It's not like they hit it at an angle where you think it would even twist the thing or anything
Yeah.
like that, but suddenly they fling around. they gain all their force and just shoot back at the guy and poke him to death in terribly, terribly horrible ways.
And so in my notes, I said, just as she's about to be killed by a hail of fist bullets that are flipping her off, she's able to shoot the fist back at her assailant in a way that's far too stupid to describe here.
Damn it, I'm going to make it happen.
Unless you're Craig.
You gotta see this shit.
And so after she takes out the eye patch corner, the chief shows up with his amputee dog girl, whose arms and legs are now swords, and she walks around on these. And
This was great.
This gives me a super
Cool as
bizarro
that.
world boner, by the way.
I was also like, you know what? She doesn't look half bad.
I'm
with those
kind of
sword
into
legs.
this. I'm kind of into this.
Have you seen that Frankenstein's Army?
I haven't watched it yet.
Because there's shit like
It's
that.
a lot of shit like that,
Yeah,
isn't there?
it's
Okay,
great.
I will definitely watch that. And so, Ruka, in a startling display of insensitivity, chops all of her limbs off again, and then throws her against the wall after square dancing with her bit
Well, the
for a
fun
bit.
part of this, too, is the chief has to turn on her special mode. She's got a switch.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's right.
For
Manic and depressive.
Manic
He
depressive.
Flips her on to manic.
Flips to manic mode so she can go fight for a while.
That's
forgot
pretty
about that,
cool.
yeah.
And then when
That's
she's knocked
pretty
out,
cool.
the light
switch
on the
like the
switch
back
just
of her
turns
neck. It's
off.
kind of like Bane from the comic book.
Yeah.
Well, she looked like Bane with that suit on.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
With no arms or legs.
Yeah. Which gives me a boner all over again.
Gabe's going home to go Google
The best kind of
amputee
woman
porn
is
later
the
on.
woman who
He doesn't.
can't-
He's got it all bookmarked.
Yes. No Googling necessary, Craig.
Yes, Gabe.
Sorry, I underestimated you, my
In
friend.
Gabe's book, the best woman is the woman who can't slap him in the face or run away while he's assaulting them.
The chief then tells Ruka that she has become a demon, and he injects himself with glowing reanimation juice and attacks her, but she chops off his legs. And then he injects more green juice into his stumps and is able to rocket around from the blood
Called it
issuing out of
too.
his wounds.
The moment he put those needles in his leg, I'm like, he's gonna have jetpack blood legs, isn't he?
Yeah.
And God help me,
It's
he
like one of
does.
those like super soaker rockets I used to have as a kid.
Yes.
And he's like, he powers up, charges up. He's like, here we go, or here I go.
I know exactly. It's like a white rocket with a red see-through tip, and you would pump up the water pressure
Right.
inside.
And it
Yes.
would launch like 50 feet in the air.
Yeah. So,
Apparently I've been doing it wrong. You're supposed to use blood.
yes. Ruka then uses her alligator prehensile chameleon arm tongue to lasso the chief, and then she chops off the rest of him, and that's not a typo. She literally chops off the rest of him.
And yeah, he just like, all of his fucking shits are squirting around. He's just floating and spinning around like some weird asteroid in space from all
He's
these
like
blood
Baron
geysers.
Harkonnen in Dune.
Then she comes out and she stands in front of her police cruiser again, and the dog girl comes out now with like M16 arms and legs.
Yeah, that was one of
That
my
was
favorite.
fucking awesome.
Yeah.
That was
man.
a really good part of the movie.
Yeah.
Once again, how did you not like this movie?
You seem to be having so much fun
Having some
podcasting
real
about it.
cognitive dissonance right now. It's like I keep telling myself I don't like going to the gay bathhouse, and I keep finding myself there. Okay, I do like this movie.
I love you, Gabe.
Anyway,
Thank you for your honesty.
and so then the credits roll. That's the end of the movie. And I want to say I've read some stuff by these guys, the Sushi Typhoon guys. They're kind of like the production company that does like Machine. They did Machine Girl and Meatball Machine, and they did this and some
Frankenstein
I haven't
versus
seen
Dracula.
Machine Girl. I want to see that one.
Machine Girl's fun.
I want to see
Is that
that
the
in
one where she's got
Frankenstein.
like the chainsaw up her butt?
Machine Girl, yeah, she has like or something.
She has,
she's
like, a Gatling
I'm
gun
bashful, and she's
arm.
like, and like
There's
something comes out.
some pretty funny deep fry gags in the movie. Some people get deep fried. That's pretty funny.
And I just let Alan Toilet of the Dead.
Yeah, Toilet of the Dead is good too. Anyway, these guys make these movies specifically for American audiences.
Oh my god, awesome.
Do they?
And
These
sad?
are more popular in the States than they are in Japan.
That makes sense because there are portions of it where I don't think it was redone, where there was English like kind of shooting.
Yeah.
through
Well,
there.
that's pretty smart though, because he's exploding the idea that the concept that Americans don't know what the fuck weird China or weird shit that Japan is into, and so he's like, yeah, they're just gonna think that we're like totally into this, and they're gonna feel better about
He's
this.
made his whole culture seem so bizarre and fucked up.
And but Dead Sushi is terrible. Don't watch Dead Sushi.
Okay.
It's really god awful. I didn't care for it.
Machine Girl and Dracula
You said you
versus
didn't care for this
Frankenstein.
one.
I know, I did.
Yeah, Machine Girl looks really good.
Yeah, okay.
Dracula Girl and Frankenstein Girl has like this super duper duper black racist character that's insane. It's insane.
But the gore in that movie is off the hook.
Yeah.
I've been watching Z Nation on Netflix.
Z Nation.
Is that any good?
It's so terrible, it's good.
That's
The acting is so
It
fucking
looks
god
god-awful.
awful.
That's the sci-fi Walking Dead ripoff, right?
Yeah.
Have
And
they
in the
been
first
doing a lot of
episode,
that
they
shit,
have
though?
in the first episode they have every single like story arc and plot line of The Walking Dead. They have, you know, the multiracial cast. They have the dead baby, or they have the baby, and then they have the guy that eats people. Like they have everything that's in the Walking Dead show just in the first episode.
It's hard to build from that.
I know, and it's stupid. It's stupid as fuck, but I love it.
I'll check it out.
It's not good by any means, but it's like the bad good level.
I have an STD. Don't go over to Paul's house when he tells you he's going to have a game night and be forced to watch Teenage fucking Mutant Ninja Turtles.
The movie?
Yes, he forced me to watch. He paid $30 to watch this movie.
Pay $30.
He seriously tried to order it on like his cable thing, and it kept like saying, "Okay, approved," but nothing would come up. So he would keep ordering it again because he's some kind of masochist motherfucker who just wants to torture everybody, himself included, by watching this piece of crap.
Well, my STD
Michael Bay.
is after Craig left, I watched a good movie.
What was that?
I watched Witchin' and Bitchin'.
Oh yeah, the Spanish movie.
Oh, that was so great. Fantastic. It's kind of... it starts out... It's a lot like the... what's the Tarantino Rodriguez movie where the...
Planet Terror?
No. The one where they like... they rob the
vampire
bank and then they...
Reservoir Dogs?
No. Where he takes the family hostage and then they're like... They hide out at a bar
Jackie
in Mexico
Brown?
where there's vampires.
Oh, that's From Dusk Till Dawn. Yeah.
It's
Jackie
kind
Brown?
of like that.
Sure it's not Jackie Brown?
Yeah.
I'm
Pretty
positive.
sure it's not
Just till done. Anyways, it's kind of like that except with witches, and it's really funny. It's got like this great sense of humor, and it just kind of goes batshit crazy towards the end. It just goes nuts, and stuff happens that you didn't expect.
Yeah, I need to watch that. I watched about the first 20 minutes.
It was really good. And then I did this thing on Netflix, which I've never done before, where you can play like Netflix Max. I'll tell you what to watch.
Oh, God.
I actually did that, and it told me that because I like witching and bitching to watch American Mary, which I really liked.
Oh, yeah, I gotta watch that, too.
That's like this whole movie about body modification, and it's...
Does it have amputee gimps walking around
Pretty
with
much.
ninja swords?
It's
probably
it's pretty disturbing.
Well, I can't fucking find that thing. Oh, well. So, we have over 1,500 listens to Ilsa on
Nice.
YouTube,
That's a
and
good
over
movie.
1,000 of Entrails of a Beautiful Woman.
What? Look out.
I don't know how that happened.
Look out.
Have you really listened to it that many times?
He's got it on repeat at his house.
Yes.
Clearly, YouTube and the internet have given birth to some artificial intelligence that is somehow confused and worshiping us.
And that's 1,000 more since November 10th, when we had about 550 listens to Ilsa at the time.
Wow.
But are they actually listening to the whole thing?
Some,
Who gives a
not everybody.
shit?
We don't care.
We like clicks. We like clicks.
Just look at
Has
it
anyone...
and roll
do
your
we have
eyes
any likes?
and leave.
Facebook likes?
No. From-
Likes on YouTube.
On
SubTube?
Thumbs up.
Oh, no.
The thumbs up we have on there from me.
Do we have any thumbs down?
We don't have any thumbs down either?
But you fuckers, like I've been saying for a long time, should log on and watch it and fucking hit the thumbs up. Because then we get at least 5 goddamn thumbs up.
Yeah.
Well, now our listeners, which apparently we don't really
We can't
have.
even get the people who participate in the podcast to listen to the podcast.
I listen to every single one
I
of
do
them.
too. I'm just being a shithead.
I've listened to
I
every
love
single
them.
one as we've made them. There you go. I did my job.
Is this hard ticket?
That is hard ticket. Anyway, yeah, you should like us on Facebook. You should subscribe to us on YouTube.
Subscribe.
Schlock Talk. We'll get our website back up and running here at some point. And follow us on Twitter at Talking Schlock. I tweet like once every other month.
I guess I'm gonna put my pants back on now.
All right. I think we're all done, guys.
Oh, Dunsey.
Awesome.
That seemed like a fast one.
Well, I finished a few
Fast
minutes
and
ago.
good.